Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief. I'm your host, Daniel, and today is Wednesday, 4 May. Today, we're going to be talking about Poland has asked for a vote of no confidence, the Dutch PM has called for a new election, and Pornhub has blocked access in France. So firstly, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has announced on Monday his intention to request a government confidence vote in Parliament after his candidate lost the presidential election on Sunday. The first test will be a vote of no confidence, which I will ask for in Parliament soon, he said in a televised speech. I want everyone to see, including our opponents at home and abroad, that we are all ready for the situation and we understand the gravity of the moment, but that we do not intend to take a single step back. The victory of the nationalist opposition candidate in Sunday's presidential election was a significant setback for the centrist government's efforts to strengthen Warsaw's pro-European orientation. According to the National Election Commission, the candidate won 50.89% of the vote, a narrow margin for the win. So what? It seems likely that this is going to cause basically the same hold-ups that the Polish government has been facing in the past as a very similar situation with a right-winging president and a centrist government. And essentially, it was just blocking anything moving forward, causing a bit of a stalemate in Polish politics. While it's a somewhat symbolic position, the president does have a few roles, including running the military and some other international positions. So, the position isn't nothing. They do have some say in Polish politics. So we're going to see some pretty significant standoffs, I feel. It seems likely that the current government will win the vote of no confidence. I haven't read anything this morning that says otherwise. Everything was pretty positive for the current government, but yeah, it seems like they're going to have some challenges going forward, which is what they've been dealing with in the past. So it's no real change. And next, Prime Minister Dick Schoff, that's surely not how you say his name, said on Tuesday that the Netherlands would hold a new election after the collapse of the coalition government. The announcement followed the far-right leader Geert Wilders' withdrawal of his party's ministers in a dispute over migration policy. Schoff said that his administration would serve in the caretaker role and that he would formally offer the resignation of Wilders' party for freedom ministers to the Dutch king. The Prime Minister said he had reportedly told coalition leaders that the collapse of the government would be an unnecessary and irresponsible move. Wilders and his far-right PVV party pulled out of the government, citing differences with partners because of the lack of action over proposals to curb migration. No signatures for our asylum plans, no adjustment on the coalition agreement. The PVV is leaving the coalition, he said on X, formerly Twitter. He said he had informed the president that all ministers from his parties would quit the government. The PVV entered into its first coalition government 6 months after the surprise victory in the Netherlands in November 2023, with the parliamentary elections leading to a pretty wide group. So what? Quite possibly that the right-leaning party is going to win more of the vote, and this is possibly why he's tried to make this move. Migration is a pretty significant issue for most European countries at this stage, and countries that aren't taking action on it are seeing a pretty stark rise in right-leaning parties. So I feel the Netherlands is going to be no different. However, it seems highly unlikely that he will, Geert Wilders, that is, would win enough of the vote to control entirety. So it's likely he'll need to go back to another coalition government, which they quite possibly won't be keen on joining him in because they don't trust him. So we could see a pretty significant stalemate in Dutch politics following the next election. And lastly, and the story you've all been waiting for, Pornhub, RedTube, and YouPorn, are they still websites? Were scheduled to be suspended in France on Wednesday, according to their parent company. Instead of porn, the company will display a statement on France's new regulation that requires porn sites to verify that their users are 18 or older, a Pornhub spokesperson said on Tuesday. The sites, like other porn sites available in France, has until June 7th, 2025 to implement new rigorous laws around age verification standards. It's part of a French move to push to shield minors from inappropriate content. France's Deputy Minister for Digital Technology defended the government's move late on Tuesday. So what's the issue with the age verification law? Currently, users are expected to click a box like everyone has known since the age of 14. France's new standard requires explicit websites to verify a user's age using a credit card or government-issued ID document. To protect users' identity, the standard requires porn sites to use external sites for this age verification. Using a principle known as double anonymity, the porn sites will then only receive confirmation that the person is of legal age and will not know their identity. So what? Time to buy a VPN if you live in France, I think. I feel like this is something that I've seen in the UK. Maybe it's not mandatory, but I think most like providers have this on their system where you have to provide some kind of like, I think you provide your credit card and it verifies. I mean, this is if you don't own a VPN. So could anyone want to get NordVPN? Maybe you should get a Nord sponsorship for this story. Yeah, it seems unlikely that France is going to back down, and it's likely that Pornhub will eventually reverse their decision and just comply with the laws. But yeah, it's a pretty bold move, and one that could see protests, which are unsurprising in France. I do think, trying to protect children from porn online is a positive move, and it's not good for you. Like, everybody knows it. Porn is pretty horrific. So trying to make sure kids can't easily access it, as most people listening to this probably know, is at a young age. We could definitely get hold of porn. So I see this as a pretty positive move. Well, possibly positive. I can see the issues, but I don't know. You got to protect kids somehow. Anyway, that's been the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow.